If you want to know how to decide what book to read next, then stick around. Hey, what's going on, Booktube on YouTube? I'm Tina and welcome to my channel. I make bookish videos for bookworms, so consider subscribing for more bookish videos. So I've been thinking, if you're anything like me, then you may have a hard time trying to decide the next book you want to read. Well, I actually have researched a bunch of tips that should help you make that decision a lot easier. So without further ado, let's see what these tips are. First things first, you have to really think and decide and feel, what exactly are you in the mood for? That can really make a big difference when it comes to choosing something that you want to read. You can also get inspiration from what everybody else is reading, and that also may help you to decide what you want to read. Another tip that I really found helpful is go to a bookstore and kind of like walk around the aisles and see what book calls out to you. You can also try a chapter. Now what try a chapter is you get a bunch of books together that you're interested in and read the first chapter of each of those books and find out which one moves you, which one is the one that compels you to want to read it. Maybe you could check out the next book in a series that you have not finished yet. What series haven't you finished yet? Let me know in the comment section below. This one was a new tip for me and I got excited about it because I think it will help. You can go to Goodreads on the computer, not on the app, because I don't think this is gonna work on the app. Go to Goodreads on the computer and use the random sort option on the TBR list, and it'll randomize, whichever one comes up first, that's the one you got to read. Another thing, let's say for instance you don't have Goodreads, you can check out random.org, type in a couple of titles there and see what happens, see what book comes up. And if the book, a book that you like comes up, which I'm sure it would because there's a bunch of books that you want to read anyway, read whichever one comes up. You can also check out Goodreads recommendations. They have a lot of book recommendations according to the type of books that you like to read. If there's a couple of books that you're actually interested in, check out some book reviews for, a couple of books and see which ones resonate with you a lot better than, other books. Now, I know we all have our favorite author, and maybe there are some books of your favorite author that you haven't read yet. Now's the perfect time to check out one of those books. Think about some of the hobbies that you have, some of the interests that you have. Maybe you can find a book with someone that has the same interests and see what happens in the story. You can also get a TBR jar, where you're taking a jar and you're putting, folding up some, this ain't a jar, but put some titles in there, fold them up and everything, and just pick it at random, and that's the book that you get to read. Make sure you put books that you enjoy, books that you are interested in. You could also check out what your favorite booktuber is reading. We're out there. You know what would be cool too? I think it will help in deciding what to read if you were to join a book box subscription. There's a whole bunch out there. There's Fairy Loot, there's Indie Book Box, there's Owl Crate. There's so many that you can choose from. See which one is right for you and then go for it. Then you'll have, you can also get, there's another one called Book of the Month. So you can sign up for them subscription boxes, and when you get a book, you have one to read, a new one. You can also check out the most read or the most purchased book of, certain websites of Amazon. I think they have a list like that. Barnes & Noble have a list like that. Check out like that, and you may find a book that you're interested in. If you don't have that book, you can probably check out, in your collection, what book may be similar to that one. You can also check out the recently released section of, Barnes & Noble's, any kind of a book website as well. Have you ever thought about joining a book club? That's an idea as well. I think that's a pretty good idea. You get to socialize, talk about books, and I think, you know, having the group reading that same book will kind of push you and inspire you to keep reading that book as well. You can also check out these books that are rated a 4 or above on Goodreads. And I mean, think about it. If they're rated 4 or above, gotta be pretty good. You can't go wrong there. Here's an idea too that I didn't think of, but I found in my research, which is listen to Bookish Podcasts as well. And they give book recommendations, reviews, and things like that sometimes. So I think that's a pretty good idea if you want inspiration for your next read. Now here's something that I've done many times. I will stand in front of my bookshelf and see what calls out to me. You could try that as well, you never know. Another thing that you can do that will help you decide what to read is to join a readathon. Readathons could go for a weekend. Readathons can go for a whole 24 hours. Decide something to read for that 24 hours, you know, and kind of the pressure of when a readathon is supposed to start will kind of push you into the direction of whatever book you're gonna read. Sometimes we just need that little push, you know? I know sometimes it could be challenging deciding on what book to read. So I really do hope that these tips were helpful to you. And if you thought of some tips along the way, I hope you're putting them in the comment section, which will help other people who want to know how to decide on what book to read as well if they watch this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you on my next video. Take care.